Hello, this is Ohasa, and welcome to a Nara and Sonja lore and speculation video. And we're going to go through their lore, we're going to go through their abilities, and this is just a deep research video into these new confirmed heroes. In the next video, we're going to do Tassie, but for now, let's get into their story. So this is Nara, as everyone knows. She is an assassin. She has a hook, she drags enemies towards her, and she drains the energy of heroes who attack her. We're going to come back to her abilities in a second, but I just want to talk about their story first because it's really, really interesting, and I find it really cool to kind of know their story before it starts. I was going to do Nara by herself, but then it's pretty obvious Nara and Sonja are super closely tied together into the story. And so we're going to combine their stories together and then see where it goes from there. So the story is like this. We're in Rustport, and we've seen what it looks like. It's a city, it has like high walls, and there are different levels. And what people say about Rustport is that for every baker, there are 2 thieves. For every blacksmith, 2 pirates. Within the city lies a district where not even the city watch would tread Town. So Town is like the ghetto of the ghettos. And both Nara and Sonja were born and raised in this town. So for Nara, her mom abandoned her family when she didn't want to, because she didn't want to suffer anymore. And her dad was actually very deeply in debt. But when Nara was 9, her dad had actually managed to save up enough money to escape Rustport with Nara. The debt collectors found out before they could leave and killed her dad. This left Nara as an orphan, and she had to do anything in her power to survive, which was mainly thievery and doing odd jobs and stealing and, just eating trash. Now for Sonja, she also grew up in Town, as mentioned before, but she ended up getting caught and beaten often for thievery too. But Sonja had seemed to have friends who she grew up with together who were in the exact same situations. One day, they came across Nara, and the two instantly hit it off. Once they started to work together, they had never been caught doing jobs. And then one day, they got tired from all the other gangs trampling upon their group. They decided to make their own group called the Whispers. Their goal was to have everyone live well, able to eat, drink their fill, as one family. They called themselves Whispers, for the faint whisper coins make on cloth while being picked out of pockets. So basically, the soft brush that the coins make when they come out of people's pockets as they are being stolen is like a whisper. Get it? Now, after this is the rise of the Whispers. So they became this dynamic duo. Like, one was like blood and the other was roses. Blood symbolized Nara's ruthlessness and her brutality, whereas roses represented Sonja's strategic skills. They absorbed smaller child gangs that became the biggest network of thieves in the city. Hardly a street corner in Rustport that did not have a whisper lingering. Nara did a lot of the dirty work when it came to conflicts. Now, at this point, they became like the biggest guild, or the biggest like gang in Rustport. But they found a way to do even bigger business because smuggling people, thievery was not enough. So what they did and found was smuggling, and smuggling people. Because in Rustport, they had slaves. And there was only like you were either a slave or a master. And the market in there was huge, and they wanted in on it. So what they did was they found a unique smuggling route only known to them. But what happened was the gang was getting larger and larger, and so their smuggling lines got leaked because they were traitors. And then this created this wave of mistrust within the gang because the gang had this ideology of being a family, of being trustworthy, and working together to have and live a good life. Now, because of the leaker, the traitors, and the mistrust, this caused a huge argument between Nara and Sonja, because Nara, who had the personality and actions of someone who wants to directly confront the problems and be very ruthless, very, very brutal, versus Sonja, who wanted to do it more tacitly, politically, more not as ruthless. So Nara wanted to publicly execute those in the Whispers who were suspected of being traitors, to serve as a warning to others. She even thought to begin with the earliest members of the gang. Her rage and distress were terrifying, and yet there was also an arrogant, entitled attitude among those old veterans. The veterans were no longer satisfied by the wealth and the Whispers generated for them. They desired even more power and secretly made moves within their own ranks by leaning on the newest members. So Sonja was very hesitant to take such drastic measures and wanted to alternatively banish them instead. So this caused a massive argument which led to Nara setting sail to go on a smuggling mission. Now on this smuggling mission, you can see so what happened was Nara and her ship trespassed into someone's territory in Azure Cove. And there was this elemental, and an elemental is this being that is born from the elements and is a manifestation of an area's will. So the island took on a will of its own, and the elemental became the manifestation of that. Anyway, that elemental saw that Nara and the ship were trespassing and then sent this huge wave which destroyed Nara's ship and killed her and her crew. So Nara died, and then we're not sure when, but within a short period of time he was revived by Quaidam. And Quaidam is this like almost like a god who can like turn dead corpses into undead. And that's what happened to Nara. So Nara turned into this undead, and Quaidam got Nara to work under Hodgkin. And we know who Hodgkin is, the captain of the Dead Tide fleet. Going back to Sonja, after realizing Nara wasn't really coming back, it changed Sonja's personality. She abandoned her merciful approach. She shook the pain of Nara's disappearance and began to ruthlessly screen everyone around her. She found the traitors and dealt with them very brutally. Once her actions showed how she deals with traitors, no one dared to think about betrayal. Sonja shaved off her long golden hair and carved roses into her temples. She no longer smiles and wears an icy cold expression, constantly seeking those who are even attempted to betray her. Sonja still wishes for Nara to return. And that's pretty much caught up to where the story is, I believe. So based off of that, I think we're going to continue there. And the Dead Tide fleet are coming to Rustport, and then they're going to fight. And that's where we see in the trailer that they're going to meet. Okay, so that's enough. Let's talk about their abilities. So this is Nara's ability, Butchery. So I think this is her ultimate. Nara deals 110% damage Ignores defense and invincibility. If the target's health is below 40%, the ability is multiplied 6 times. If the auto battle feature is used, this ability will not deal damage to any enemy targets with health above a 40%. So it sounds like this can, like, it's sort of like this is AoE, and it would deal 6 times multiple damage. So it's like an instant kill, basically. It's like a guaranteed, almost guaranteed kill, because it ignores invincibility effects and it ignores their defense. So this should be an insta kill. It's basically an insta kill. Dismember hits an enemy, leaves them stunned for several seconds. Fifth attack deals a damage equal to 25% of the target's current health. Wow. Impale. So this is the hook. When there are no enemy targets in her vicinity, she will proceed to use her grappling hook to impale an enemy and drag them towards herself. She will prioritize target attacks towards enemies standing opposite of her. Yeah, so we saw it in the clip that she just targeted someone opposite of her tile. Wow. Okay, so restore energy, bleed, activates a shield. Wow. In butchery, this is the ultimate that can mitigate 350% damage if the target is slain. Okay. Alright. So yeah, the hook is there, and she has this thing called butchery, which is a insta kill, or like almost insta kill. But yeah, it's looking really cool. Looking really cool. I definitely am leaning towards pulling her, even though we're not sure. Okay, Sonja, let's check out her abilities. Gold Roses. So I don't think I got to go through it, but she is a light bearer and a tank. Okay, light bearer, tank, agility based, buffer roll. Okay, so ultimate Gold Roses. Sonja gives all allied heroes a gold rose. All allies with a gold rose receive 50% less damage the following 5 times they are dealt damage. So this is like a Coco thing. The attacking sources lose health equal to 80% of Sonja's attack rating. Oh. Okay, if an ally already has a gold rose, the number of times that is effective is reset. Okay, so she can pop off her, like, it blocks 5 attacks, like 50% less damage for the 5 attacks. And if they haven't got attacked 5 times, it will reset. Okay. Passive. When Sonja, I don't know, it doesn't seem that strong. And it's quite weak to quick auto attacks. But if it's, maybe if it's, no, I was thinking maybe spells that could work, but it's okay. Glimmering Brilliance. When she is in a state of Glimmering Brilliance, she does not use normal attacks. Instead, she periodically recovers energy. When Sonja is not in a state of Brilliance, the damage she receives is reduced by 20%. The attacking source loses health equal to 70% of Sonja's attack rating. This effect can only be triggered once per second. When her health will fall below 60% for the first time, she enters Glimmering Brilliance. Okay, so she just doesn't attack, she just recovers energy. She just stands there and gains energy. When in Glimmering Brilliance, she also recovers 2% of her max health per second for each rose of any color that is currently on the battlefield. Okay. Okay. Dark Vines. Sonja places a black rose where the most injured enemy is located, and that deals 180% of her attack as an AoE to nearby enemies. After the rose deals damage 3 times, the most injured ally receives a shield that exists for 8 seconds. Okay. Blood Rose. Sonja gives the most injured enemy hero a red rose that causes them to lose additional health up to 70% of her attack rating 5 times, after which Sonja reclaims the red rose. When Sonja reclaims the red rose, if the enemy is still alive, they lose 8% of their max health. Okay, but this value cannot exceed... Okay, so there's a lot of things to do all around her roses. So she has the gold roses that reduce damage by 50%. She has the black rose, and the black rose does AoE damage, but that's not the main point of it. It seems the main point of it is to trigger shield. And then you have the blood rose, which is a red rose, and the red rose is something where it can only activate after she reclaims the red rose. Okay, so it hits them 5 times, so it depends on the attack speed to see how good this skill is. So if it's quick 5 times, then sure, but if it's slow, you know. And so if you get this, you gain the rose comes back to Sonja. The enemy lose 8% of their max health, but it cannot exceed 240%. And then Sonja will heal that amount. And if she's in glowing brilliance, it'll be multiplied. Okay, so she can heal herself a lot. She can deal a little bit of max percent health damage. She can block and a lot of damage, and she can the goal is to try and spam gold roses. So it's almost like she's just a monk who stands in the middle at the front of the battlefield, just standing there taking hits while healing. Yeah, so but the cool thing is it affects all allies. I wonder if it includes herself too. If it does, that would be good. Okay. Alright, so that's I was just reading it for the first time, but I hope that helps, and I hope you enjoyed the lore. Sorry I wasn't too focused on the visual side, so hope you just enjoyed the lore. But I'll see you in the next video. Please give a like, comment, subscribe, and next video of Showcase we'll be talking about Tassie. Bye.